There's currently no regulation around controllers like this in the official Tekken World Tour rule set. Well, to be clear, there's minimal regulation. I can't have one button do multiple things, like do a direction and an attack at the same time. But aside from that, there's no regulation on the firmware underneath, like what happens if I hold left and right at the same time. That might not seem like a big deal, but for some characters, there's specific tech in Tekken that becomes way easier if you don't regulate how these controllers behave. So in this video, I want to do two things. I want to show that cheaters never win, and I want to celebrate my performance in the most recent Tampa Never Sleeps weekly online tournament, the last one of Season 2. And in case it's not clear, because it's within the rules, this is technically not cheating, but I'm kind of a traditionalist. I like the idea of just a lever and attack buttons, or a regular PS5 controller. But as I cover in a different video, which I'll link below, this tech is so much easier on leverless and pad compared to a straight up joystick. And so I wanted to implement this tech in tournament to try and push for change, either to have regulation for these rules or to have the in-game tech adjusted to be more fair across controller inputs. Again, it'll be covered in a separate video, and it involves Steve's counter hit down forward too. If that means nothing to you, don't worry about it. I will point it out in the sets as they happen, this unique tech. So as you can see in the bottom right, I'm using a new controller. And I'd only been on this controller for 3 days. I don't normally recommend switching hardware or trying to learn new techniques right before a tournament, especially because I wanted to do well in this last weekly tournament of Season 2. But this tech has proven to be so accessible that it's actually something that I thought I could implement in tournament pretty quickly. And you'll see in Game 2, it actually does come out. It basically turns Steve's counter hit down forward 2 into a full launcher instead of just a 44 damage mini combo. Solid first round for me. I've never actually fought Tsuzoru before. He's Ninja Killa's little brother, also playing Law. So he's been doing pretty well in these weekly tournaments, so I knew he was pretty strong. But I don't have a lot of data, so I'm just operating on my base Steve instinct. Counter hit back one again. So far, so good. Okay, gonna go into heat here just to get to the wall. I normally don't like going to heat this early, but getting to the wall and stabilizing the combo I thought was worth it. Back 1-2. I'm not punishing the second hit of the string there because I'm looking for the third hit. At a certain point, it is worth calling out the Law for just doing back 1-2. It's a string mind game, and that's kind of what Law is built on. But sometimes you do have to make the call out. Otherwise, he's just getting away with a free mid-mid hitbox that approaches. Break the throw. That's a 1 break. All right, some string pressure here. Magic 4 hits, and I was too late to block the slide. Little too late. Did a really fast slide out of crouch, almost instant. So, got to be ready for that. Side step 3 plus frames. Take my turn back with the 2-1 string. Nice, and Duck 1 catches his sidestep button. So he's playing on this little delay timing where he's going to sidestep and then do a keep out button or try and whiff punish something. And the Duck 1 directly counters that. Push him into the wall, 1-1-2 guaranteed. No punish on my Duck 2, lucky me. Fighting my way out of the corner though. That's why I'm sidestepping left here and there. Break that 1+2 throw in the corner again. And there's some nice stagger string pressure from Law. Luckily, I had time to correct my phrasing during that entire combo. This is the situation here. It's actually tricky. It's kind of something to consider if you're fighting against string characters. He does 1-2 and then threatens the extension and does nothing. And then when I try to take my turn back, he does back 4-3. All right, so he catches my defensive reaction, or he baits my defensive reaction with the string that could complete, and then does the mid-mid string to blow me up. Wall splat and then back turn combo. I've never actually seen him go into back turn from there. That was cool. Down 2-1. Down forward 2. Counter hit. I don't have the frames to go into duck stance and keep swinging. He calls me out. Total momentum on his side. Suddenly he's up 2 rounds and I'm in the corner. He's plus here and I mash. Up 2. Completely unnecessary to make that play there with his heat smash on the table, but that wall splat will be gone in Season 3. So you can have that one for now, Tsuzoru. But yeah, pretty poor defensive play on my part to mash there in that situation. The exploding wall behind me, the corner behind me, and heat state active. I could have just waited out the timer. Law gets a lot out of making you mash more than he does out of straight up mixing you. Although the slide is pretty annoying, Law is getting way more damage off of the Dragon Hammer to the down forward 2. things like that. In any case, we go to game 2, and this is the game where my controller will come into play. I didn't say it earlier, but this is the winner's side top 48 fresh out of pools. So I had a pretty decent early run in the tournament. And then this is the first probably like top 8 caliber player I'm fighting in this tournament. Running 2. Okay, duck 1-1 or weave 1-1-1. He gets a counter hit sidestep 3, guarantees that follow-up. Dragon Hammer plus frames, big chunky low there. I said Law doesn't hurt too much with mixing. He does hurt, but it's not as bad as, you know, eating the big launch, of course. All right, my shoulder is not parryable. Nice stagger pressure from me. Pushing him into the corner, but then he gets a slide and he's suddenly out. Meterless side switch. Okay. 1-2-1. Again, pushing him to the wall, trying to get him to bite, trying to get him to get wall splat, but he's adjusted to the string pressure from game 1. Sidestep 3, counter hit confirmed, no wall splat. Lucky for me again, but a nice power crush to beat my delayed offense. Tsuzoru 2 rounds away from putting me into the loser side.
But I can't force it too much.
Back 1-2. No punish again. I'm still looking for the third hit. Counter hit down forward 2. Perfect finishing blow. That is the tech. Normally I get 44 damage here, but because the controller makes it easier, I have now won 106 damage off of a safe mid counter hit launcher. 107 damage. That tech is ridiculous. I learned it 3 days before this tournament. 3 days on this controller, and I'm able to suddenly do a brand new technique that more than doubles my damage off of that move. I think that completely skews Steve, and the fact that it's controller dependent, essentially, is pretty gross to me. So, again, we have a separate video covering that Steve tech and why it's easier on this controller, and it'll be linked below. But don't go anywhere. We still have fun, exciting matches to see. In case it wasn't clear from my intro, you'll see that Tsuzoru is not phased at all by that counter hit down forward 2. He's still running his pressure. I miss a whiff punish, and then he gets a punch parry. Part of the downsides of switching controllers, even though it still is a joystick and it still is a similar control mechanism, is there's a bit more mental overhead. So I noticed that I was not whiff punishing anything for the first half of this tournament. And it's because I was so focused on just moving around normally, doing my block punishment, doing my attack sequences, and, of course, if I hit the down forward 2, adjusting my fingers to do the new technique. Because I'm not used to an arcade stick with this many buttons. Counter hit down 2-3 while I'm yapping, which kind of, you know, carries over to my mindset in the set. I was flow stating, I was trying to blow him up. He had 1 pixel of health left. And then all of a sudden I overextend. He goes under my high and counter hit launches me. So poor attack discipline on my part. It should be clear that Law has that, especially in a first to 2. But, you know, by the same token, you can't second guess your offense too much in tournaments. So it was good placement by him, overextension by me. And speaking of overextension, I mash again, just like in the first game. He gets the wall here, and it's a pretty much done deal. Tsuzoru beats me 2-0 in the first game, sending me to the loser side early on. And I wasn't too surprised that I was going to the loser side in this sense, because he's a strong player, for one. But 2, this is the cost of picking up a new controller in the middle of your training season, right before a big tournament. It simply does not make sense most of the time. But I think I thought the tech was strong enough to warrant the risk, and I'm a content creator. I thought it was worth creating videos with this controller. That's not to make excuses. I think it's just important to make these considerations when you compete yourself, to be aware that there's a lot of things that affect your performance, and don't take things for granted. This is 0-2. Anyways, now I fight JoeCrush, not a stranger to the tournament scene, not a stranger to this channel. We've been fighting for like 6+ years. So if you ever see weird reads like why I low parry there right away, we have years of experience fighting each other. And lucky for me, he's still on Jack. Yes, Jack is very different, but I have a bit more insight instinctively into where his head is at. My Steve is a bit more unique, and I think Jack's offense tends to struggle against the way I like to play Steve. But that said, he definitely has a winning record on me. But, you know, it's never free. Let's see how he chooses to play it. The infinite stage here makes it a bit rough. Steve loves getting the wall. And Steve's string pressure is really annoying for Jack's flex, the armor, because Steve can punch, 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 and then make himself safe with his stances, and then Jack's retaliation might not hit. Depends on the strength. But, like here, while standing 2-2, I can block after that. and I blocked the bubble. But he's piecing me up, and it's all permanent health. When Jack lands all these pokes, it really sucks that you get no recoverable health. I've made up the difference off that 2 throw, and now it's anybody's round here. 1-2-1, interrupt the big heat dash attempt. Heat dash to just apply more pressure, and I still run into the back 2. 2 big chunky hits, block the string. There's a 3rd hit mix-up, so I hesitate, and then he goes low once again. It's looking ugly. Again, this is loser side to qualify for top 8. We both made big runs through the loser side after our top 48 matches. So, the pressure is on. JoeCrush usually wins these things. It's the last one of Season 2. He would love to go out with a bang, and I would love to finally get a TNS win. Back to Heat Dash again. No throw break. It counter hit my Sonic Fang. 1 pixel. Dedge. 3 straight rounds. It's looking so ugly. Before this match, I had said that JoeCrush was like my rival, and then there's a chatter said, this is not a rivalry, you just getting beat. That will come back in a FDX Unhinged video for sure. Don't think I can show my response in the main channel. Game 2, Rebel Hanger. I don't think I need to make a huge... I was going to say, I don't think I need to make a huge adjustment, and then I try a launch punishable move right in the beginning. But I know that I need to not flow too absent-mindedly, right? I need to play fast. I need to play smooth. But I know that JoeCrush is looking for a lot of my offensive patterns. So DF1 is a nice way to just kind of put a hitbox on the screen, low commitment, running 2 for plus frames. I'm not trying to blow him up necessarily. I'm just putting out hitboxes that make it hard for him to do what he wants to do, and as he plays around that, I'll find damage opportunities like that while standing 2-2, guaranteed follow-up, and then down forward 2 into just the Gatling gun punches. It wasn't a counter hit, it wasn't guaranteed, but it would catch a delayed button or some kind of action if he's not respecting the Gatling gun punches. Nice little pocket sand that doesn't risk a lot for Steve. It's pretty nice. Okay, DF1. Face out a little bit. He whiffs the bubble, but too far to whiff punish, I think. Nice. Down 2-1, and then I hold down forward to low parry. Step on the feet. Do the mid this time. The guard break before paying off. A Gatling gun rush. Boom. Guard break once again. Okay. So the mind games are working out in my favor. I'm up 2 rounds. And then I 1-2-1 directly over the Atlas hammer. And you'll hear me tweaking in the stream because I was looking for it all of game 1. It never came. And the moment I stop looking for it, it hits me. And then I do a get-up kick trying to delay tech, and I die. In 15 seconds, 1 launch to wall, bad wake-up, and dead. Not the worst thing. Like, that happens in other Tekkens too. But it did not feel good. And the combos take forever in this game, so I'm annoyed. Jack putting out that safe mid just to stop me from moving around too much. One of my adjustments is to just stop moving so that it doesn't hit me and then take my turn after. Not every move the opponent does requires a response. If they give up their turn, then you can just block it and take your turn after. Little float there with the DF1. Heat burst. Mess up the wall carry. 2-1. He ducks it and then heat smashes my follow-up after. While standing 1-2 will punish that string. 5 Fox Fury. Joe calmly blocking and then power crushing into my flicker jabs. And that gives me the opportunity to duck underneath. Just to see that again. I'm in flicker here, right? And flicker jabs reset to flicker stance. So when he does this, I can see that I hit his armor and still duck. Honestly, it would have been harder to duck if I didn't do the buttons to slow down the power crush. But yes, this Rage Art will kill, and out of nowhere, after a wash of a game 1, we're suddenly going to a game 3. Signs of Life against JoeCrush. He rematches to the same stage. We've talked about this before, but the official rule is that you're supposed to swap stages, but for a lot of the veterans here, we don't really care very much, so we'll just rematch the same stage unless it's got some clear, ridiculous advantage, like putting Claudio on, you know, Aztec, Ortiz farm. Aztec. On Ortiz farm. Flash duck, but I don't get the full crouch down forward 2 under Jack's string. Back to... Oh, could have whiff punished it. But like I was saying, my whiff punishment was really weak today. The slight discomfort really adds up, especially in a game like Tekken. Okay, block the mid. Guard break. Even though he was ducking, he stood up just in time. And the stomp whiffs. Jack is too far back. The big bodies occupy so much forward space with their arms. I can't believe that missed, but I'm still in the game. Low parry. Up back to Rage Art. I don't think this is enough. I don't think this Rage Art is enough. The combo was a bit weird because I had so many hits before the wall break, so it doesn't reset the pushback. Yeah, 1 pixel. And Joe wins these 9 seconds. I'm playing jab DF1, just trying to keep it as small as possible. 1-2-1. While standing 2-4. The toe kick doesn't hit the stop. 1 pixel. He doesn't block low. Literally 1 pixel. But Joe is not going to let that get to him. Full string. I was not blocking for some reason, but I block punish the back 2. Nice. Or maybe that's forward 1+2. One of the big jack buttons, you know. Yeah, that's forward 1+2. I think I called it back 2 earlier too. My fault. Oh, and I'm too slow to react to the mount and the drill. You have to duck that throw, by the way. And then you can, like, hit jack on the ground 1 time. Okay. Running up 1-1-2-1. Again, not forcing my way in terms of winning damage, but just putting out a wall of hitboxes, seeing where he wants to make his counterplay. Yep. Peekaboo forward 2, catching him ducking. Guaranteed Sonic Fang after if you're fast. There's a back 2. Guard break. Ugh. Fine. I just have to survive the heat state. Sidestep on the forward 2. Nice. His heat state is gone. He still has 1 big G. No whiff punish again. No whiff punish again. VDX counter hit. Hold on. I'm finding hitboxes. I'm finding them on counter hit timings. If I can get more reward, that would be pretty sweet. The clinch. Ugh. Okay. Block. No block punish. A little late. Okay, down 1+2. Down to 10 seconds again. We both slowed down, not forcing anything. What was that? Little whiff. 5 seconds. Ah, power crush out of QCF1 and the 2 throw. I wanted to clip a Rage Art input or just burn the last 2 seconds. Really happy with that choice. Over here, but I didn't commit to the whiff punish. Putting out the big mid to stop me. I'm just calmly blocking. Inaccurate punish, I guess. I guess I don't know that string. It's new to me. I'll have to check the Tekken docs or okazemi.gg. Spin 2. Okay, I mash. Over here. I run straight into the windmill arms. The Bart Simpson. Okay. Stomp. Low string again. This is a nasty situation. Been here before. Sonic Fang catches him ducking, and it's a counter hit. He tried to do a low string again. Stop! Nice block, Joe. Good lord. Now it's final round to qualify for top 8 on the loser's side. I'm running in his face and just hitting DF1. I'm getting counter hit, mashing, but I find a low parry. Big low parry. Okay. Drop the combo a bit. Jack can be awkward to combo. Even though he's a big body, you can win more damage. There are some awkward situations. No duck on the second hit there. Now I get a block punish on that string. But I stop it early and try to play a different situation. Peekaboo down 1. Found the float. Hold on. Hold on. Exploding wall. The first hit whips and it messes up my combo. It's fine. You got to keep playing. Didn't get wall splatted. Very nice. Okay, he spent his heat. Now's the time. Our heat is gone too. He played his plus frames very well there. Now it's a real scrap to the end. Inaccurate punish. While standing 2-2 though. 10 seconds remaining. Joe's in rage. Not a counter hit, so I'm fine. I could have punished harder. 1-2-1-2. 5 seconds remaining. Joe sweeps underneath my high. He goes to the sky. Shoryuken anti-air in Tekken. Can you believe it? Joe tries to play a timer scam flyaway. But I've seen him do it before. I've seen him do this technique before, and my body takes over. Somebody goes to the sky, you Shoryuken, and I catch his tippy toe. And the tornado burns the rest of the timer. Can you believe it? And out of nowhere, with a miraculous upset, BDX wins 2-1. Over JoeCrush. The chat is going crazy. That was a shining moment of the tournament for sure. Not only did I stay composed offensively, like not forcing my way to winning damage, but having the wherewithal to remember the timeout situation and have the button ready, that was quite nice. I was pretty happy with that. Definitely, I think the match of the season for me. I had not had a match that exciting in a long time. We'll move on to the last match in a second, but this is the bracket that got us here, all right? So I'm right here, third one here, FDX versus Tsuzoru, quick 2-0, blasted me to the depths. And then I go to the loser side here, and it's all 2-1s. Speed King Jobin, Akemi, and JoeCrush to make it to the top 8. I have some more clips to show of the Steve tag at the end, but let's watch this last set here. This is FDX versus Kazuma 13. Not the first time we've seen Kazuma on this channel. Last time it was I was dressed as Luffy and Kazuma dressed as Nami playing Lily. But Kazuma also has a Lars. First game is on Red Arena. I don't think anybody's ever happy about that unless you intentionally like to rob people. But I fought Kazuma a bunch before. He's going to like down back 4 a lot to get under Steve's highs. Also down back 1. Down back 1's not as big of a deal. But eating a counter hit down by 4 really sucks. So I don't want to spam highs. But hitting the clinch 1 is something I do want to do. Tornado there. Resplat to this wall. I decided to blow up the wall because I don't want to play into that variance of eating more combo damage. Heat dash here. Subpar combo. But it's fine. We're in a great winning position. So I just run up and stomp. Even if he were to duck it here, I didn't think that was going to be as bad. Because I was expecting more of the counter hit down back 4 to be the main option. Send too low. I get caught moving. I'm fishing for a bit of counter hit down forward too. We do have the controller after all. Okay, but I've lost a lot of HP to these pokes. I'm down like half. Time to make something happen possibly. Orbital, but I'm not ducking. DF1 again. Again, I'm not forcing anything into the down back 4. And then I find a float with the next DF1. The opportunity presented itself. Wall splat again. This time I'm going to save the wall because I have to make up a bit of damage. I need to rob him. Nice! Billy Club guaranteed Sonic Fang, 64 damage. Push him into the wall, 1-1-2. So far, so good. So far, so good. 2 straight rounds. Okay, eat a counter back 1, kip up. Down 4-2 fishing. And I finished the down 2-1-2 string. I had a hunch he wanted to create an opportunity. Wanted to take his turn back. And I tried to capitalize on the antsiness there. Also had some rounds to play with, so... Yes, counter hit, and this time I don't go for the tech. I do the Gatling gun punches there. Off the down 4-2, it's actually more damage. Heat dash, but the running 2 misses. Hold on. You gotta close out cleanly. Run face first into the back 3-4. Down 4-1 gets whiff punished. A very nice play from Kazuma. Down back 2, send tornado, shoulder after all that. Shoe shine, no reaction to the second hit. Rage art, but there's not enough HP here. Not enough HP, and Kazuma teabags. At the actual time, I had not seen that in the match. I only had seen the chat talk about it after. But yes, a saucy teabag in the middle of a tournament. I can appreciate some fighting spirit. I can appreciate that. But it's up to me to stay composed. Again, I didn't really notice it. But if I noticed it, it would be important for me to not think about it. It's to go back to the gameplay. All right. So far, I have a decent lead. I'm running down 4-2 because I don't want to get counter hit by down back 4. Okay, I mash into the second hit of the down forward 1 string. Lightning screw, but I was just blocking. Can't kill there, though. Even with a nice punish. Rocket launcher to catch him. Take a big drink of water. We got to go to game 2. Can't get too comfortable, even though that game went pretty well. That game went pretty well. Next game is on Yakushima. Infinite stage. There are... mixed perspectives on this stage. I think I say that a lot when this stage comes up. But when it comes to Steve, I think the explosiveness of the wall is heavily in his favor, more than his ability to turtle on Infinite, kind of like how it used to be in Tekken 7. Steve with a lead on this stage can be annoying, but a lot of characters also have good approach tools, so it's not that crazy. Whereas Steve with a wall can really do a lot of damage. So you don't win games by turtling, or you don't win games by... you know, producing damage necessarily. It's about having more HP than your opponent when the time runs out, or KOing them. And Steve has access to a ton of damage at the wall, and I think it's more valuable than the turtling aspect. While I'm yapping about that, I lose round 1. Now it's time to get a little more active. Run up down 2. He's counter poking. He finds a nice 1-2 placement, keeping his pokes pretty small. Down back 1 to get under my highs. That's why I start spamming DF1. A little fed up with that. 1-2-1, nice. Big running 3+ frames. I get caught moving. Okay, wrong punish, VDX. Swing into the last hit of the string. A lot of scrubby play here, but I find a back 1. Scrubby play by me. And again, I think it is the controller discomfort for the uncharacteristic scrubbiness. There's a base layer of scrubbiness, but this is uncharacteristic. Spring kick! And Sonic Fang hits him. You know what I think happened? I think he did orbital, and because it hit off axis like this, he's back turned because I sidestep blocked. So he tries to hold back to block, and it hits his back before he has to turn around. I think my slight sidestep block created an off-axis situation. That was pretty funny. Okay, fishing for DF2 again. He's not really swinging too much. Well, he's swinging to the 1-2-1. Running 2. Okay, peekaboo pressure now. Wow, look at this lead. Not even a big launch, just some good pokes. Nice block punish. Could have launched, but it's fine. I got the whiff and didn't rip the Lionheart 2. He's caught up. He's caught up, but I have the space to back away, and I hit a counter hit back one before, but running 2 will just connect. 2 throw, nice break. Running 2 over the next down back 4. Again, resisting the urge to spam 1-2-1. That's been one of my competitive adjustments, is not just leaning into my comfort moves, actually paying attention to what my opponent's doing and using my appropriate character tools. You would think that'd be a kind of basic fighting game thing, and it is. But in Tekken, it's kind of hard. Ooh, big back 1. Very, very nice. No wall combo available, so I just go for a heat burst. Push him far away. Step on him. Okay, he's plus frames. His plus frames, but a nice low parry on the shoe shine. 1 too many. I go for a clinch, but he doesn't get up. It's looking quite nice for me. And a Shoryuken on his attack timing. And I did see the teabag, so now I use the controller to do an enhanced teabag. I didn't see the teabag. I saw the chat talked about the teabag. And with this controller, I can hold forward with one finger or with the lever and mash down. I can drum on down with my fingers to get an accelerated counter teabag. Unfortunately, I brushed the 2 button there too. You know what they say, forgive but don't forget. I had to not think about it though when I was playing the set. But you know, I think it's important to stand up for yourself. And that concludes my last win of the tournament. I end up going out to Wizzy in top 8. But I said I would show the Steve Tech. Yeah, I got to Wizzy in top 8 here too. Oh, he clapped me. It was nasty. But we're about celebrating the wins. And as you can see, cheaters never win. We never made it to the end. But in those sets I showed you, we didn't see a lot of the Steve Tech. So what I have here are just a few clips of how consistently I got it. This is against Akemi on the loser's side. Super nice player. It was super easy to work with in terms of like organizing meeting up in the bracket, and I really appreciated Akemi for that. But there's a counter hit down forward 2, instant launch, and look at the reward here. This is again on the loser's side. Pressure is high, usually nerves are high. 89 damage, follow-up slide. So like that's like 100 damage after the entire situation. Against Akemi again, this is the 3rd game of the set. Down forward 2, once again. It was like undroppable using this controller. And then what is this next tech? Oh, look, the same game after the first round. Counter hit down forward 2 once again. It's actually insane how consistent you can get with this technique. And then we'll just show the last part of this set because it was kind of cool. It was really back and forth. I go up 2 rounds. Akemi ends up making a 2-round comeback, leading to a final round situation. This is chronologically before the JoeCrush match. The weave gets evaded. I get counter hit launched. Quite ugly here. Leo's wall combo is ridiculous. Leo's wall pressure is ridiculous. But I weave away and I get punched before I can slam Leo into the wall. While standing 2-2, hold on. No wall spot here, but I get good pressure. Nice throw break. That was really good. The position change would have blown him up. Tons of plus frames. I choose to just block calmly. I need him to go low, or I want him to feel like he has to go low, or mash into the down 2-1-2 because he's not winning any damage. And I'm not completing my combos. And that extended duck 2 was a read on previous situations. Akemi showed me that they had ducked multiple times. And so I'm able to find this heat duck 2 after showing the clinch a bunch of times in previous sets. Previous data adding up very well. And it was a very close set. So GG's. Super happy with my play there. And if you're still curious about that Steve Tech, I have a video on that. Basically what it is when the counter hit down forward 2 hits, I just hit these 3 buttons at the same time. I hit 2, down, and right. Technically, with the settings I have, I just have to hit right and 2. And there's a big technical explanation on that, why it's so good, why I think it needs to be regulated. That will be linked below. Appreciate you tuning in. That's all I have for you today. Like and comment if you haven't already. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.